Good evening, fellow ghouls and specters alike. It's your ghost host with the most, Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And Jacob Wild, too.
Here to engage in some haunted holiday hijinks by trudging through the catacombs and dusting off the cobwebs to recount our spooky selection of Halloween classics.
So grab the jack-o'-lantern, suit up, and grab the candy dish. It should be light the jack-o'-lantern, not grab the jack-o'-lantern. I've been gone a week. Ooh, spooky. As we revive and recount tonight's spooky selection, Muppet Haunted Mansion! Whoa! Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we should have rehearsed that.
Hey, how'd you do that thing with the lightning?
Okay.
Muppet on the Mansion!
All
All right.
All right, guys. I am back from my trip. It was a time. It was a time. I'm not going to say it was a good time or not. You'll just have to wait to find out.
No, but it was a little over a week. The time definitely factored in, yeah.
But we're back. Guys, Jacob Dragon, I made a community post about this. I just want to thank you guys on air too. From the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you guys stepping in for me this week. Honestly, it means a lot to have people ready to step in like that. So you guys are awesome. You're an amazing crew. Jacob, you're doing a fantastic job with the thumbnails, and my God, I need to actually financially compensate you at some point. I'm sorry I haven't gotten around to that yet. I'm a little bit delirious from all my travel, but I just wanted to spread the love. So you guys rock. All right. So we got Theme Park Priest and Z&K channel tonight. So happy to have you guys here. Original Tiki is now Original Dolly. Yeah. Theme Park Priest, I don't know. Did you read my trip report, Theme Park Priest? Do you know how it went? Oh, man. It was Jesus. Anyways, Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Muppet Haunted Mansion.
Guys, I must admit I'm pretty mixed on this thing, and I'm not really surprised that I'm mixed on this thing, if I'm being honest. I think it has some really, really fantastic elements to it. I think it really starts to gain steam in the third act. As soon as Constant shows up, I really think that third act is like really what the whole special should have been like. I really thought the third act was great. Unfortunately, up until then, I really thought the special was a bit of a mixed bag. Definitely a lot of awesome, loving homages to the ride. The Muppet humor is kind of where this thing sort of lost me a little bit. I don't really... I don't know. This thing just wasn't all that... What?
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's some good bits, but I oftentimes I found myself more annoyed at the jokes than actually laughing at them.
So basically, you were
I kind of had a feeling this would be the case, but the celebrity cameos are so padded out, they go by so... I don't know. This very much feels like another kind of Muppets Wizard of Oz, where it's better than Muppets.
It was a lot better than Muppets Wizard of Oz.
It's better than Muppets Wizard of Oz. It is. But I feel like it's kind of in the same vein of I can't hold it up on the pedestal like I can the best Muppet projects. This is such a great idea, and I really wish I liked it more than I did. That being said, like I said, the third act of this thing is super solid. So, we'll get there. Anyways, Theme Park Priest says, I mix too. I like the nods to the original Muppet Show. Yeah, that's definitely the Muppet stuff I do like in this, is all the nods and, the characters that show up. I don't know. I just think some of the, you guys might be able to tell I'm actually not a big fan of the dun 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 running gag. I think it wears a little thin after a while. But we'll get into all of it. Theme Park Priest says Muppets Wizard of Oz was underrated. Theme Park Priest, I actually kind of agree. I kind of agree. I don't think it's a great Muppet movie, but I think it gets a lot of hate.
It has its moments. You got to give it that.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz does have moments.
It searches, I guess, some of the dirtier humor, but like some of the dirty humor, I still like. I remember catching it. And I still remember like the my nipples gag many years later. I mean, funny enough, it started the tomb. That was like the two main stars of this. But it's like it's not even like the best gag or probably even the funniest moment in there. But I always just sort of nothing. They're my nipples. I feel dirty.
God. So yeah, honestly, like I said, guys, I like for a concept this good, I want to love this, and I just don't. But I like it a lot. You know, it's got a lot of good elements to it, and like I said, I'm sorry I keep repeating myself, but that third act really is great. So, and there goes my image. Jacob, what do you think?
Well, I think honestly, I mean, I probably liked it a lot more than you did. Honestly, I think this is the best thing they've done since probably like barring a few elements of the ABC series. This is the best thing they've done since Most Wanted.
Oh, I would agree to that. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The ABC series did have some good moments, but
I like the ABC series a lot, but
it wasn't top tier Muppets. Like, I'd rank this as like better than some of the recent. I mean, I'd especially rank it better than Muppets now, but
most Muppet things are better than Muppets now.
What I'm saying is this. I'd probably even rank this higher than some of the movies they've done. Some of them, anyway. But I mean, or at least maybe I should just like confine it to specials. And I'd say this is like, as far as like Halloween specials go, I mean, it did have some legitimately creepy moments for Muppets anyway. But I mean, and I don't think the Muppet humor. I think the Muppet humor and the especially the humor of the Haunted Mansion kind of meshed together quite well.
Totally. All right, Dragon, what do you think?
Yes, I really enjoyed this. I was kind of surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I wasn't really, I knew it was a bit of a gamble with,
Tiki's the pessimist in the room. Gee, isn't that a big surprise? Go ahead, Dragon.
I mean, the thing was, maybe it's because I wasn't trying to get my hopes up for this, and I came out legitimately surprised.
Jacob, that is very fair, and like I find that more times than not, the more I get my hopes up for something, the more it disappoints me. So that's a totally fair point on me. For sure.
So, tip to enjoying things: have low standards.
All right, Dragon.
So that's the thing. So I went into this, knowing like the whole kind of the bona fide of this one was like, okay, there's a gamble at play for sure, but I mean, still, it's the charm of that Muppet Haunted Mansion. This that first teaser, we didn't even see anything, and it was like, okay, well, this just in general, these are two really great properties, mixing them together. I don't know, could breed a lot of fun. So I just went into this and just kind of taking it at face value. I really enjoyed it. I thought, on the whole, it was a charming return to form, for the Muppets. And it's been a while since we've had that return to form. Obviously, the Muppets now being kind of the letdown of late. So this is, again, going backwards, back to when things were a little hopeful with the Muppets. Like, yeah, hey, we're getting back into the swing of things with the Muppet releases, And, I think what we did here is we integrated the Disney brand, but we didn't let it, interfere with the core story at play, where we celebrated the hallmarks of the attraction, which of course is a mix of comedy and scares. And I thought in this special, what really grabbed me most is that it had great moments of heart and horror at the same time in moments. Hopefully it's the start of a hopeful turnaround for the Muppet brand. I mean, fingers crossed. It's getting some buzz. I think
Disney has promoted the heck out of this thing.
That's what I'm saying. They promote it on the whole. They always promote Haunted Mansion stuff around Halloween anyway. So why not throw some Muppets in there? Get the Muppets some attention. Let's do it. Come on. So let me hit you with some background before we just jump right into this.
It'd be pretty interesting if at the Florida Haunted Mansion they did a Muppets overlay.
Oh my God! Don't get me started. I have ideas, but we don't have time.
I'll be going there in a few weeks myself. So.
Or are you, Jacob? Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Yep, I'm doing. Well, this is going to be an entirely separate thing, but I'm doing a Disney Universal vacation.
Ooh, it takes me back to my youth. Right, so. Real quick, so I'm going to hit you with some background. Not a whole lot, but just the very little that does remain. So, so around the time, this has been brewing for a long time, ever since the Disney deal, I want to say, since around that time. They were pitching, yeah. I
mean, didn't they try to make like a Halloween special for like 30 years or something?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, for many years. See, what happened was, they pitched a Halloween special, and around this time, when Jim Henson was around, they did the Muppet Family Christmas. That was one of the last things he did. So they were thinking holiday specials, and of course, after he passed, they did Christmas Carol, which, again, they were kind of leaning into the holiday direction. It's the weirdest thing. So what happened, the reason we waited so long for a Halloween special, outside of the kind of the Halloween-ish Muppet Show episodes we did with, Vincent Price and Alice Cooper, essentially, it's the rinse and repeat cycle of the Muppets were flailing for so long, on and off again for a while. After, think about it, you had so Muppet Wizard of Oz kind of cooled the fire for a while. Then 2011 shows up. And it's like, hey, Muppets are back, and then we do Muppets Most Wanted. And then the fire dims again. So it's like every time they wanted to, hey, let's dust off the Halloween special. Now the Muppets are back. It flickered out every time. So honestly, it just feels like they lucked out with Disney Plus. Like, hey, we have an avenue. We're not really doing much with the Muppets. We I'm sure if there's any accounting guy there's like, well, we built these new Muppets. You might as well use them in other things as well. And Disney Plus is going to say no to us right now if we want to do something, and we're promoting another Disney brand. Like, hey, we finally have the opportunity. We got no reason not to do it. Let's do it now, finally. And as we're all aware, we have the director on this, Kirk Thatcher, who had done a lot of the holiday stuff beforehand with the Christmas stuff. He did a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. Muppets, yeah.
He's actually a longtime writer for the Muppets too.
Yeah. He's been around. He kind of moved up to the directing sphere with the TV Christmas movies and Letters to Santa, and then of course that led to Wizard of Oz, which is eh. And fun fact, I don't know if you guys know this. I completely forgot about this. He was the punk on the bus with the giant boombox in Star Trek 4, the one that Spock did the Vulcan nerf pitch to because he was playing really nice. That was Kirk Thatcher. I know, right? It's just that was his big break.
I probably wouldn't even know what you're talking about if not for Red Letter Media.
Well, it's in the he's in the For the Love of Spock documentary. They show that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Also, last thing, Bill Beretta, he's been really stepping up lately. He's been getting involved in the writing and the productions of these Puppies More. He's really coming to the forefront. I want to say, this might be bold saying this, but along with Dave Goelz, I think he and Bill Beretta have really been kind of in the forefront, filling in for Frank Oz in terms of the face of the Muppeteers of late,
I mean, Dave Goelz is the only remaining original Muppeteer left.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the Bill Beretta as well. He's been involved in a lot of the other Muppet projects and just the Henson Company production. So it's kind of nice to see him really kind of step forward with that sort of stuff. So good for Bill Beretta. I like that guy. All right.
Just gonna go ahead and shout out some comments here. Let's see. ZNK says yes. We deserve an overlay. Kelly gets all the overlay love.
That is true, ZNK channel.
I honestly feel like Florida's slowly been stepping up their game because I know that they have live actors in Pirates of the Caribbean for Halloween now, which I think is pretty cool. But anyways, ZNK says every time the Muppets get a chance, Disney rips the rug right out from under them without giving them a chance.
Exactly.
Totally. And that guy Siri says, Muppets, we might leave for a while, but we always come back. Sometimes later and sometimes sooner, but you can never escape us.
Yeah.
Then, let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. So, let's get into it.
All right. Okay, so we start with the Electric Mayhem's rendition of Dancing in the Moonlight, which is really nice, but it was a good way to start it off and kind of bookend it.
And it oddly fits in with the whole thing.
Yeah. So we have Gonzo and Pepe in a limo, destined for the Haunted Mansion for the Great Macguffin's 100th Anniversary Fear Challenge.
It's actually I love those kind of stories where it's oh, you're dared you have to stay in this haunted mansion for one night.
Yes, one of my favorite old school vaudevillian comedy premises. They've with Abbott and Costello, okay, but you're gonna get the $1 million. We gotta stay in the house all night, or Scooby Doo, hey, to get the $1 you gotta sleep in the house overnight. That's it's the time tested old school premise. I love it. I love that it showed up here,
and it's something that totally Gonzo would do and would totally drag Pepe along with.
So let me speak to this. This is kind of big. So there was a reason we have Pepe in this. So you would imagine traditionally you'd have Gonzo and Rizzo in this, but since Whitmire's exit, they've been trying to retire Rizzo in the background.
I've kind of noticed that.
he had a very one-note kind of, he popped up like during one of the musical sequences, but really non-discernible who that is. So yeah, they've been
And
putting
I,
on
I,
the
honestly, I don't know how unpopular of an opinion this is, but I think Pepe is a lot more entertaining than Rizzo ever was.
I mean, Gonzo and Rizzo had really good chemistry.
They had good chemistry, yeah, but I just think Pepe is just like he's a fan favorite for a reason, man.
I mean, on his own, yes, Tiki, and that's what gives Pepe the advantage. But again, just like for the history's sake, like those guys are really besties,
And honestly, Rizzo and Gonzo only really had chemistry in Christmas Carol and Treasure Island. I mean,
but also like some of the other stuff, like Muppet Classic Theater and stuff. Like every time they were paired up in a lot of marketing for the Muppets as well.
Heck, even in Muppets from Space, that was more Pepe. That was more him with Pepe than Rizzo.
I don't know. Rizzo was the other part of that story. We got into like the lab and everything. I don't know.
But Pepe was more involved in that one.
You're right. I mean, he had a role in that. He had a big role in that as well. Okay.
I mean, not that anybody really remembers Muppets from Space anyway. But
we're gonna call that back later, though. So far,
I was gonna say, yeah,
we're gonna get there.
Kind of like make Muppets from Space. They kind of bring it back in this.
Yeah,
one, but
we'll get there.
I know, but I meant like before.
Sure. Okay, so anyway, so Pepe, he thinks this is a Hollywood mansion party, not necessarily a haunted mansion.
And you know the famous peepers.
Yes, the barred pits.
This is a joke I'm just noticing now, but like I love how he's texting the girls on his phone, and one of them just says, "Who dis?"
Yeah. Who this and like blocked call and all that.
Go away.
Okay. So
what are they saying? All good things. All good things.
Here's where the heart of the special starts to creep in. So he's seated here. So Kermit calls.
Oh boy.
There's a Muppet Halloween costume party that's going on there. We have
to address the elephant in the room. I got to do it. The Vogel. Hi, elephant. It's me, Tiki.
All right, he's gonna just go do a bit right now. Go on.
Man, the Vogel Kermit is not getting better. As a matter of fact, I really didn't like it in this one.
Well, I mean, look, that's the sad fact is I don't think there's any replacing Whitmire, at least so far, unless Vogel
I'm just saying there's been replacements for Muppet characters before. Like
yes.
I think Miss Piggy sounds
about
as spot on as she could possibly be in this thing.
Sure.
And compared to Kermit, it's just like honestly, the only reason it bothers me as much as it does is that Dragon, I absolutely agree with you that writing wise, Kermit is definitely one of the big hearts of the special. I think I don't know, man. I
agree with you, and barring
I honestly think it's a worse. I honestly think he's worse here than he was in Muppets Now.
Well, the thing is, Muppets Now, for a bit, we kind of hit the epiphany that in very small doses, Vogel Kermit could work. But the problem is, this is it's kind of like a part of the core story, so it's going to pop a lot more. And the other thing is, I'm thinking until Vogel, and I don't even know if this is ever going to happen, given the pace of our Muppet stuff and everything, but unless Vogel gets like that, unless the stars align, he has like a Kermit story that's going to put him to task and make him like really kind of double down, maybe improve or like reassess how he's playing the character. Unless we get that, it doesn't seem like it's going to improve. It's going to take some special for him to really kind of like say everyone to prove everyone wrong so far. So far, it's been one of the most jarring Muppet transitions for sure. One of the.
You know what? I really think this would have been a fun installment to bring the Constantine thing back. I am just waiting for the Muppets to do some sort of fourth wall gag where it's like whenever Kermit's on screen, we're not quite sure if it's Constantine or not because it's Matt Vogel. I don't know. I really want them to use Constantine again and just address the elephant in the room that Kermit doesn't sound quite right. I really think that would go a long way towards like my personal goodwill with it.
I've never honestly had a problem with his take on Kermit.
I think because the story was strong with Kermit, it didn't bother me as much as like something like every other time I've seen him. But I hear the criticism. Tiki, I do.
Yeah,
I wouldn't disagree. But again, I think the story saved it here. Regardless, so back to the story. So Kermit calls. They're doing a couple's costume between Kermit and Piggy. This is a really cute idea, by the way, that Kermit and Piggy have done a couple's costume at Piggy's insistence. Oh, Kermit, you're the most amazing. Piggy's the most amazing, girlfriend or whatever in the universe. And then we have the thing that cracks me up is Miss Piggy going, "Yay!" Just,
Yay!
Oh, that's funny. I have like some great background costumes. Like Fozzie's like a giant banana peel suit, and
Chip the
Scooters.
IT guy in the I think it's like a Game Boy or no, it's a computer.
Yeah, it's like a
or
robot.
TV or
I think it's a
something.
robot or a computer. It's one of those.
Yeah.
We have a Scooter as Elvis.
and of course there's the Swedish chef cutting the pumpkins.
Yes, with a chainsaw, and they're gonna have pumpkin pancakes in the morning at the Halloween breakfast. That's great. So so Kermit's asking if Gonzo's going to show up to the Halloween party, and he says no because he's got the Haunted Mansion thing. And again, I love that we in addition to our self-fully our classic comedy premise, I love that this sweet bit here speaks to the Kermit and Gonzo friendship, which has always been kind of in the background, but when it happens, it's really sweet. And also Thatcher, he directed one of the great Kermit Gonzo moments from Very Merry Muppet Christmas, where he had like the whole It's a Wonderful Life thing, and his moment with Gonzo saved him from that. It was a beautiful, the whole. God, I'm blanking on the song, but it was a really great moment.
Unfortunately, that's one of the specials that can't be on Disney Plus.
No, it's Everyone Matters. That's one. You're right. Yes, it's a shame we can't. It's seriously, it's still not on Disney Plus.
Well, it's because it was made by NBC.
I know, and there's that gag in there too, where Kermit has the NBC logo on his foot, so that might make it.
Yeah.
That's a shame, but it's great. That's an underrated one. It's a good special. Anyway, so that's the thing. I love that we highlight that moment here, where it's like well, we'll miss you. And remember, Gonzo, you don't need to be the great Gonzo to be great Gonzo. That to me is like put that on a
Yeah,
banner.
that's a really good kind of thesis statement for Gonzo's character arc right there.
So it was like the sweetest, like it hit me in the feels up front, Tiki. That's where I was like already to go. Oh man, they hit me in the Kermit Gonzo feels already. All right. All right, so after
Gonzo's kind of lamenting that they're not spending Halloween with them, and then Pepe's just like, hey, every year, same old Muppets. We see them all the time. Tonight we go to the big mansions party.
So we have a fun celebrity cameo. We got one of the successful ones. Yvette Nicole Brown as the limo driver. Hey,
she's one of the few successful ones for me, man. I think the celebrity cameos are very hit or miss here. But
we'll this way: out of the multiple ones that we have, I think five, or at least a handful of them work. Really well, at least. The other ones are like, oh, hey, look, there it is. That's a little cameo.
I think a lot of them are like in theory, I like seeing them pop up. But they just, it's like blink and you miss it almost. Like, Pat Sajak, hey, I really like Pat Sajak, but it's like, my God, he gets so, like, you barely even notice that he's there. Anyways.
Yeah. All right, so you have the Yvette Nicole Brown. So again, so far on the Disney bingo, she's been in Endgame. So we'll see where she pops up going forward.
Where was she in Endgame?
Yeah, she was because the Russo brothers had their community days, so they love putting the community cast in there. She was in the Shield base when they went back to the 70s in Endgame.
Was she the lady in the elevator?
Yeah, she was the lady.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, she was in the elevator with Cap in Endgame. Yeah.
So speaking of the MCU and connections to community, I got to get this out here as a current event. Did you guys hear about the Guardians 3 casting?
I don't know what it has to do with what's that kid got to do with Community.
No, I'm just saying Community is connected to Guardians through Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, so yes, I did hear of the casting. I'm not crazy about that kid and other things I've seen him in, but hey, we've cast that. That's
I really like that kid and other things I've seen him in. As you know, Dragon, he was like when he was cast to be Pennywise, I was hyped for that, and then that didn't really fall through. But I don't know. I think Will Porter's going to do a really good job. We're not here to talk about that right now, anyways.
Okay, Mr. Scatterbrain. So
I warned you.
We didn't say scatterbrained. Said chime in.
Yeah, well, now that I'm talking, I'm probably going to be talking the whole time, and I am a little fever high, so I'm sorry.
Anywho, okay, so we set things up. We set up Gonzo and Pepe's arc, and also we set up the fact with Nicole Brown, Nicole Brown, that she's never picked anyone up. She always goes to pick them up, and they're not there, which is not a good omen. Dead prawn walking, one could say. All right, so then we have. Let's talk about the exterior. So, guys, Tiki, can you correct me if I'm wrong? Which Haunted Mansion entrance has do you walk through the cemetery or close to the cemetery?
That would be Disneyland.
Okay, Disneyland has the cemetery walk. All right,
but I feel like honestly, the actual exterior of the house, like it doesn't really evoke any of the Haunted Mansions. Like the closest one is probably Phantom Manor, but even then, not really. I don't know. I
Figured
think they should have gone for the traditional, like, New England style of Walt Disney World's Haunted Mansion myself. That's my favorite exterior design. But that's just me being a nitpicky theme park nerd.
Wait, is it New Orleans or New England?
No, New Orleans is in Disneyland, and then Disney World is more New England style.
Gotcha. Okay. The other way.
I think they're just going for like a general mansion look.
I agree, Jacob. I agree, but I just think the Florida look is so iconic. I'd like to see it represented.
Little Easter egg really impressed me. So like, there's a number on the front of the mansion, 924. That's Jim Henson's birthday.
Yeah, nice.
It's cute.
They mentioned that in like one of the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. It was really neat. Okay, so we meet the caretaker and his dog and Tiki. We know this guy, technically.
Do we?
Yeah, it's Darren Criss, the voice of Superman in the new DC animated movies.
Oh my God, I would have never guessed that in a million years.
Yeah, he was back in the day. He sang on Glee like most of the CW stars. So that's how they.
and for some reason he was when they adapted. He was the Music Meister. Not the original one, but that was Neil Patrick Harris. But I got the crossover between Flash and Supergirl. He was
the live action Music Meister Tiki. Yeah, he was when they did that. Anyway,
I'm going to comment on some
sure
on some comments here. Z&K says I feel like Kermit's new voice haters are just as bad as Elmo's the Devil in Ruin the Street haters. I mean, I think people can be a little bit overzealous about it, Z&K, but I mean, the fact of the matter is, I just think it sounds off, so I'm not hating on it. I just think it sounds off anyways.
Honestly, sounds closer to Jim Henson's than Whitmire's did.
Well, that's true. I love the background gag, Fozzie trying to eat popcorn by throwing it in the air, but because he's in a banana suit, he can't move his neck and the popcorn is just flying. Also, this is a funny detail. Lou Zealand's fish is dressed as Lou. That's one of the things I can definitely give this special is that the background gags and the Muppet cameos all really work. Like, they definitely do I think the Muppet cameos work a lot better than the celebrity cameos.
I just love that gag too, where it's like the guy with the fish, because he does have a fish. The Great Macguffin. So it's like, yes, no, not you.
Z&K also points out that she was in the Lady and the Tramp 2019 remake that I literally forgot existed until you pointed that out.
True. Yep.
Let's see. The fact
he's not calling us out, Tiki.
What?
Z&K chances he's not calling us out in the whole.
Okay, yeah, Z&K. I get that. I just want to make sure. I just want to clarify that I'm not really hating on it. Anyways, guys, I really don't like the casting for the caretaker, and he is an old man in the ride. Why is he a young man in this? Was it really that hard?
Well, here's the thing. Let me ask you this: How do you guys feel about...
Asner would have been perfect in this role. That's all I'm saying.
Let me ask you this: How do you guys feel about the musical component of this?
Not great.
This whole special.
Not great.
What about you, Jacob?
I actually really like the songs here.
I like.
Jacob, I feel like you and me are in the middle of a Disney debate.
I like most of the songs. Some are just like I think okay. I didn't hate any of the songs. I think some shine more than others. And yeah, so I think that's the reason it's a young guy too, because they wanted like kind of someone musical. And I don't think Ed Asner really is much of a
okay,
singer.
yeah. Ed Asner's just obviously Ed Asner comes to mind because I want to see him more. But...
I know, me too, Tiki. And I really wanted his cameo to speak, but like it's the fact he showed up though. It's nice that he showed up.
Yeah. And the fact that they said in loving memory of our friend Ed Asner, that really warmed my heart too.
Which was nice. So,
but I don't know, man. It's like, there's like, if you want someone who can sing, I don't know, like Patrick Page or something, there's old people who can sing. I don't really think that's really a prerequisite.
Look, let me put it this way. Most of the cameos up front, mainly up front, a lot of the cameos are basically kind of scrunched in the front anyway. So, I mean, all these cameos, it feels like the problem I have is a lot of them are really disparate. A lot of them are just like people you can very much tell, like, hey, you want to be in the Muppets? Would I?
Totally.
And I think Darren Criss was like slightly more of like hey, we need people who can sing, so let's get something trendy, like people for kids from Glee. So I think that's where, or the Music Meister for a more recent example. But
again, this might just me being super nitpicky about the ride because I'm so used to the caretaker as an old man. maybe if the caretaker was like more of a character and it was like more of an origin story for him, which is kind of where I thought they might go, then I would have liked it more, if they would have given it a reason for it to be a younger man. I don't know. I'm just being nitpicky. It's
Well,
not
regardless,
really
I mean,
big of a deal.
In general, I've grown to like Darren Criss, so I don't mind that he popped up here. And again, the song on the whole, though, so it's kind of, yeah.
But I can guarantee you wouldn't have liked him if it was Ben Schwartz.
Can Ben Schwartz even sing?
I mean,
What if it was Ben Platt?
Yeah. Anyway, so we have here are the cameos. Let me tell you the cameos that worked for me of the bunch here, the ones that are worth mentioning. So Alfonso Ribeiro. I wish he was a bust, but it was good to see him. Ed Asner, of course. Even if it is a silent cameo, it's like, hey, at least we got him in there. Obviously,
Ed Asner is gold. Anytime he pops up in anything, I'm gonna, it's great. I don't.
Danny Trejo. We killed him off as Hewitt because he didn't do it, it's a cute joke. I like that.
No, wait. Okay, hold on. Is he literally playing the same character as in Muppets Most Wanted? He was just playing Danny Trejo, right?
I don't know if we named him in that.
He was just like the prisoner known as Danny Trejo.
Oh,
right.
It's a small world. There's Danny Trejo. There's the fictional Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo is just like kind of reoccurring as a prisoner in the Muppets verse.
I mean, like, again, because like there's the deleted cameo from from Muppets 2011. He's like, hey, I'm a Muppet.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they keep it's the third time he's been a prisoner.
Yeah.
And then, like he was a nice guy in Most Wanted.
Yeah.
And now here he's dead.
Yep.
Let's see.
Prison to kill me off. What are you saying about
that? Ed, I'm sorry. Z and K said, Ed not getting a line felt like a ripoff, especially since the other ghost got a line.
Hard disagree.
Yeah, fair enough.
I could say it's a respectful thing not to have him speak, but by the same token,
that's
any way
true.
we can get him, we'll take him.
That guy. There are old people that can sing. 2021 quote from famous philosopher Tiki. Yes. Danny Trejo is becoming the John Ratzenberger for the Muppets.
I'd get behind that. I could co-sign that. Like that. Like more Trejo.
Danny Trejo has actually been making like kind of resurgence lately.
Also was on Kidding and during a big fan of puppetry and Kidding.
And also on a slightly different note, Big City Greens.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see. So what was I getting at here? So I think we start at the cemetery, so we don't like glaze past it, later on during the climax.
I think that was honestly a smart move.
Yeah,
I do.
Otherwise, we have to fast forward through it during the later, so we kind of fit him at the end, and we get him up front.
Honestly, if I had one nitpick about the story, it's that I think they should have probably foreshadowed Constance a bit earlier. But I mean, generally speaking, I think the storyline in this flows very well, and it very much feels like you're going through the ride.
Right.
Like even with the breakdown.
And like I said, I mean, like we have. I wish we had more singers for the bus, like Craig Robinson. Okay, that tracks. Pat Sajak, maybe not so much. And then we had a bunch of the no names who were pretty much people like, "Hey, can we be in it? Sure." It's like, if you're gonna have celebrities as your bus,
people are no names to people who grew up in the Disney Channel and are younger than us, but they are no names to us old folks. So
what I'm saying. I don't know. Anyway, okay, and also I think on the whole, I think the budget kind of shows. The worst thing I can say about it is I think the budget shows on some of the ghost effects, and it's a little TV budget, kind of iffy to me. Some of the effects are kind of
I'm not going to criticize that too much because I feel like in these kind of things, like the more cheap the effects look, it can kind of be part of the gag, but.
I think it looks better when you're inside the mansion. It's just sometimes with like the ghost kind of being imposed in there, and after the fact, kind of shows a little bit. I do love the ghost puppets, though. I love the puppets that we built that are like like the classic sheet ghost. I thought they look great.
Generally speaking, I really like how many just random generic puppets there are throughout this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, like the sheet ghosts and the tomatoes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Pumpkin.
Theme Park Priest says, more grim and ghosts. And honestly, I'm surprised, like, they lifted a lot of dialogue from the ride directly into this. So I'm surprised they didn't just go all out with a full Grim Grinning Ghost musical number. I mean, I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity.
Well, again, they kind of crammed it in that first song at the ends, but yeah, it does feel a little crammed in, though, which may not.
I mean, I would have honestly rather had the first song just be Grim Grinning Ghosts.
It is nice how he worked in the lyrics, though.
Like I said,
yes, but
they even ripped in the ride malfunction dialogue into this.
I love that, and we'll get there. It's great. We had a lot of great ride references throughout.
Yeah. My favorite ride reference is just the fact that Sattler and Waldorf's balcony is a doom buggy. I love that.
I know, it's great. It's great.
The only thing worse than being stuck with you, stuck in here with them.
Do you remember pitching that at all when you're thinking? Did you imagine Did you ever tell me you wanted to see that, or is that just you lucked into?
No, I always pictured Sattler and Waldorf being the dueling portraits for some reason.
Right. Well,
Just
we did
because
something else
there's two of them. And I think that was honestly stupid of me because it's what can the dueling portraits do? This is
they would be the audience. They would be the guys riding in the Doom buggy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, I feel, the MVP of this special. Let's talk about Will Arnett as the ghost host.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Will Arnett kills it for sure. I mean, no surprise, really. I think he was an excellent casting as the ghost host, but yeah, he definitely kills it.
Yeah.
Literally.
But it did.
See, I love that he was both menacing and pleasant at the same time. Welcome, foolish Muppets.
And his voice is just very perfectly Paul Frees, man. It's perfect.
Yeah. Also, I love the Spanish running gag where he's from Malaga and he sees himself in Pepe. I don't know.
It's do you speak Spanish? No. And then proceeds to speak flawless Spanish.
Yeah. Okay, so he gives us the rules, which are pretty simple. So I love how he's giving the rule spiel set to kind of the Grim Grinning Ghost kind of theme.
So
basically, in essence,
foyer music.
Yep, the foyer. Yes. So basically, it's long and short of it is face your fears by sunrise, or you remain here forever. And of course, we have the dun 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 running gag with the mummy and the skeleton throughout.
Which I think the first couple times they did it, it was really funny. I just kind of think it wears out its welcome as the special goes along, in my opinion.
I know. I think they bought it back, though. I mean, let me tell you, here's the repetitive gag for me in the special. The dun 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 doesn't bother me because I think that's funny, and the fact that it's ticking off the ghost host saves it already. It's we excuse the whole they're new and they don't get a lot of visitors. That's great. That's all you need. That's why they stink at the dun dun dun. They missed the big moment with the dun dun dun. But the whole the thing with Constance, though, the whole King Prawn, while great, we used a little too much. It's really that's all she said.
I honestly feel like that gag gets used too much with Pepe just in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That gag. That one overstays welcome, but not the dun dun duns. That's just me, though.
You know what? You are right when you point out that Will Arnett gets continually annoyed by that. That is kind of what saves it.
Yeah.
Right.
And they even miss it at one point. We missed the big one.
That's what I'm saying. They missed the big one. It's great. Okay. All right. So then we hold
on, really quick. I need to bring up a couple comments here. This is a good observation from Z and K. This would be a good theory. I always thought they'd be hitchhiking ghosts trying to escape the mansion and everything. I like that idea.
But then who would the third one be?
That's a good point.
It just you get maybe a random penguin or something,
or Pop. I think the penguin's a better pitch, but I'm just thinking Pops. Man.
I don't think that Pops would fit in with Sattler and Waldorf, though. I just think if it was just a random penguin, then
no, you're probably right. Yeah,
and then I really like this comment from Z and K. He says he lived up to Vincent Price, both in Muppet terms and in Ghost Host terms.
Oh, you know what the easy answer is? The goat. It should have been the goat as the third one.
You're right. You're right.
The goat. I like a good penguin, but yeah, it should have been the goat.
Z and K. Pops is the hotel caretaker from Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah.
Among other things.
I mean, he was the ticket taker and run the ticket booth, will call in Muppet Show in the latter seasons, and yeah. Okay,
was Sam even in this?
Yeah, Sam was in this.
He was the dueling portrait.
Yeah. Oh, right.
There's it says that dead Tom's not dead anymore. Little Muppet. What was it? Muppet Treasure Island. Yeah, it's Treasure Island. I'm sure it was.
All right.
Okay. All right. What was oh, he was suggesting Pops, I guess.
Oh, yeah, okay, gotcha, ZNK. I'm sorry, I shouldn't assume that anyone watching this stream doesn't know who Pops is. Jesus Christ.
No, it's the guy who owns the diner, Johnny Bravo.
Honestly,
Tiki, where's
ZNK, that was a dumb assumption on my part. I apologize.
I didn't know who Pops was.
All right.
Okay, so the stretching room. So the stretching room, of
The
course,
stretching
classic.
room, in my opinion, is the best set in the whole special.
Yeah?
I was honestly kind of blown away when I saw it. To me, it's pretty much like inch by inch. It's like a perfect recreation, just Muppetified.
The Muppified portraits were perfect too. Like Crazy Harry on top of the dynamite, Janet as the parasol on the crocodiles, and all in our pigs. You know, we had the Link Hog Throb, Dr. Strange Pork, and Miss Poogie in quicksand. So that was.
And I believe the gargoyles are the Phenomena monsters, right?
I think I didn't catch that. I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure they are.
That makes sense. I mean, were they kind of horn shaped?
I don't know, Jacob.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, I didn't catch the gargoyles myself, so I'm gonna take your word on that, Tiki. All right.
Anyone in the comments have a guess on what the gargoyles are?
Okay, let's see. So here's something really clever we addressed. We addressed the whole familiar Muppet casting of like, yeah, we know these guys, and they're all characters in this
I
mansion.
am glad that they brought that up. Because honestly, that would have bothered my OCD on like a very nitpicky level if they didn't address that. So I mean, that's a fun thing with the Muppets, right? And that's honestly kind of why I want to see them do something with Constantine involving the Vogel voice. Is that I feel like the Muppets is like the perfect venue to do a fourth wall break like that. Anyways,
Tiki, we got something. We have phenomenon confirmation in the comments.
Yeah, the candle holder. Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
All right. Let's see. What was I? All right. So yeah, we have like the whole sympathetic vibrations, Alfred. Sorry, Batman reference still. Remember Batman the Animated Series, the whole psychic vibrations, Alfred. He's mocking the whole.
We have Cynthia. Greg, and out of curiosity, did you see my my vlog on the Hollywood Star Cars Museum?
No, not yet. I didn't know.
Oh man, you should watch that one because it's got some cool Batman stuff in it.
I know. I was busy holding the fort down. All
right. Anyways,
all right. Let's see. Where was it? God. All right, yeah. Anyways, point being, so that's all. That's all great. In terms of like kind of our Muppet stretching room, of course, reappearing in the stretching room, the goat from Muppets Now. So we're trying to get our money's worth for the Muppets Now character.
Beverly Plume had a good line. I'll give her that.
She did. That she did. Also, Joe the Legal Weasel. We got a lot of them in there.
Okay, well, Joe the Legal Weasel was like the one good thing that came out of Muppets Now.
Yeah.
We never didn't like Joe the Legal Weasel.
Yeah, Joe was great.
A lot of the creative talent from that was involved in this too.
I buy it. Why not? It's in house.
I mean, Kirk Thatcher was involved in Muppets Now.
That makes sense.
So,
all right.
I don't want to like dig back up Muppets Now. I think we all agree the problem with Muppets Now is that it should have had more variety to it.
That's true. But anyway, so point being, the goat kind of, like the screaming goat kind of scares him out of the room in terms of finding an exit. Which, by the way, I love that we call out, like, wait, find an exit to the room or the house. Like, you're really killing the mood here. Like, the room. I meant the room. It's just oh, God, I love this. Oh, Ernest the Ghost host so much. Anyway, okay, so now we're in the halls of the Haunted Mansion. We have a lot of great Muppet Show Easter eggs. I want to talk about the decor. I mean, I love the Henson eyes on the wallpaper of the Haunted Mansion. I think it's it's one of the great design things there, and also we have like some fun, like both deep cut and just kind of cuts alike with the Muppet Newsman.
Have a bigger cameo, Piggy.
Ah, yes, budget. Yeah, called out the budget. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So then, so we have the Great Macguffin and the red herring, which is a literal red herring in his pocket. Pretty funny.
I love that. I
want to know if you guys had this. I predicted a different celebrity as the Great Macguffin.
No, honestly, I kind of called the ghost host thing.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so did I.
You know who I thought it was?
Who?
Because I misread, because it happened a little fast. I misread the poster and I thought, oh my God, you're gonna make it Paul Rubens, aren't you?
Oh my god!
The red herring's name. Remember, on the poster, the red herring's name is Pee-wee. I thought,
that would have been an epic cameo. That would have been pretty epic.
That's what I thought they were doing, but I mean, I wasn't like I was so entrenched by everything else. I wasn't like thinking it's got to be Rubens. I was like, oh my god, yeah, we forgot to talk about who the MacGuffin is. Anyways, okay. So moving on from there, let's see. I believe we get separated at this point. No. We end up okay. So we meet Madame Pagoda.
I love this one.
I'm a little mixed on this scene.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm jumping. They do get separated. We hit the famous people's room.
Oh god!
So this is another cameo that worked, in my opinion. We have John Stamos, the great John Stamos.
This is easily the best cameo, I think.
And
John Stamos is a perfect cameo for this thing because he's like one of the biggest Disney park geeks on the planet.
And it's also another Disney Plus show too.
Yeah, it is. That makes sense. Yeah, of course they'd be able to. I didn't know why I thought they wouldn't be able to get him.
What's John Stamos doing these days? I mean, I love the guy, but what's he doing these days?
No.
He's actually currently starring in the Disney Plus show Big Shot.
That's what I'm saying. I forgot that he was in it. I completely forgot he was in Big Shots. I was thinking, like, yeah, it's like, hey, we got one of the few famous people for the famous people's room, and like, hey, yeah, we'd be very easy to get a Disney show. Why wouldn't they go get Stamos?
I mean, that's why I said like someone else from Disney Plus.
Yes. So yeah, I just love how polite and kind of charmingly polite he is here with Pepe. And again, takes Pepe back to his roots, which are interviewing folks. He he's interviewed a lot of people in like some of the supplementary Muppet stuff. So of course, be hitting it off with the famous peoples, not the Bard Pits, so to speak. But he's talking to John Stamos. Like, hey, who needs other famous people when you have us?
I really like that instantly gets Pepe. He's like, you're right.
So then we have a legit scary moment for the special. We have the scary...
yeah. Z&K said this a couple times, but he says it's a jump scare that actually got me.
Yes, so the face morph. Here's the thing: Brian Henson's been integrating some CG into the Henson puppetry lately. So this is kind of interesting. You're going to see it officially applied in the forefront to a Muppets things like this. So I thought the effect was quite flawless.
Yeah, I agree.
Scared to like
also, Drake, do you have any background on how Brian Henson got re-involved with the company?
Well, again, he's been involved in other Henson stuff like Earth to Ned, for example. That's Brian Henson. I'm
just saying this is the most involved he's been in quite a while.
I think he said like certain consultancies throughout the years, and he was one of the proponents for firing Whitmire too.
Yeah, he's been manning the ship on other aspects of the Henson company, like the Henson Alternative imprint, obviously.
Okay, so I don't know why I was under the impression that there was any sort of like falling out.
No, it's not falling out. He's just been like they've been kind of dividing it up between the kids, like who's managing what. So Brian Henson's been on like Earth to Ned, but he hasn't.
Of course, Jacob and I actually had the privilege of seeing one of Brian Henson's projects live at Not Scary Farm. So
there you go. Yeah.
I guess Whitmire doesn't even work with Sesame Street anymore, so I think Henson was one of the ones that wanted him gone.
Yep.
No, that makes sense. I think Brian Henson's the one who spoke on him when during all that stuff happening, so that makes sense. Anyway.
We'll never really know the full details, though, so we're not going to drag it down.
Whitmire's not really keeping any secrets, so I think if we were like a really brief search, probably. But no, I hear it. We'll never know the full story, is what you're saying, yeah.
Well, you only know his side, and there's obviously bias.
Exactly, sure. So, anyway, Pepe's freaked out by the face morph into a purple people eater, if you will.
Purple people. Wasn't expecting that reference, but
yeah, well, why not?
I'm done with this place. Well, the smoke and the mirrors and the animatronics.
He tries to flee, but we're playing by Scooby-Doo rules now. He can't escape.
He says it like animatronics, though. And the animatronics.
All right, so then we get to the Madame Pagoda.
The only reason I'm mixed on this at all, like, generally speaking, I really like it, and I think it's, honestly, like, when I first imagined Madame Leota, I kind of pictured her as Janice, just because Janice has that hippie energy, but then the Electric Mayhem makes a lot of sense for a band, so you can't really have Janice be both, obviously.
But also, doesn't it make sense, that it kind of occurred to me when I was watching it makes sense, because Piggy's the icon. She would want to be the icon of the Haunted Mansion.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And of course, I love the cameo from Kim Irvine.
Yeah, that was really sweet.
Yes,
that's awesome. having to like deal with kind of the mother figure in this case, as it were. Like, well, I got to clean. Of course, for the folks who may not know, her mother was Madame Leota, which she's always worked into the ride in a can of some variety. So this is really cool.
Leota Tombs.
Yeah,
and didn't Kim Everett actually step in a few times too?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
Yes,
she's been involved on the voice. I think she's
Funny
like the
holiday.
Yeah, so, too. Like she's always involved in the thing in some way, shape, or form.
So I thought that was a pretty neat gag for those that actually knew who she was. Like, Kitty.
I want to see Joe Rohde pop up in something, man. He'd be a character.
I mean, he's no longer with the company, so who knows how possible that would be.
Well, still, like, they always like,
he's on good terms with the company.
Yeah, I mean, hey, Joe, you want to visit? Sure, why not?
I know,
exactly.
I knew he wasn't on bad terms, but depending on like how busy he is.
Sure. Well, what else is he doing though?
Actually, I know exactly what he's doing right now. He is. Hold on.
Isn't he working for Virgin?
No, he's doing a lot. Well, yeah, he's doing a lot of stuff on Instagram.
Oh, gee, that's going to tie up a lot of his time.
I mean, I'm just saying as far as content goes.
Right.
I could have sworn he was working for like something to produce space or something.
Yeah. Well, we're sending Shatner to space. Why not? All right. Something else occurred to me, Tiki. Yet again, you go on a trip and something big happens. We sent Captain Kirk into space. Just occurred to me.
Theme Park Priest says Muppets Expedition Everest.
Oh, wait, yeah, that's true. We have to track this. So nothing terrible did happen when I was gone.
Well, I got to check. I don't think anything bad happened. But I mean, we sent Shatner into space. He hasn't come back yet, I don't think. Has he come back yet? I don't know. I don't know if he's come back yet.
It's like something terrible has happened. We need to check.
Honestly, it could be because my trip was terrible.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the key. It's like the Bates Motel seesaw happiness. Something
Right,
up,
exactly.
Come down. All right, okay. So refocusing here. So Piggy calls out like, "My big scene. I'm in a fishbowl."
Okay, I hold on. I got so Joe Rohde is currently writing Hawaiian historical fan fiction on Instagram.
All right.
Exciting. Okay.
All right. Anyways.
All right.
Anyway. That's Adventure Blue Dude's words, not mine.
Right. Okay, so she finds the exat.
I wasn't a fan of the exit guy. I don't know.
But you know what I did like, though? I like the whole fat rat thing, which is, hey, it's Bubba. We couldn't get Rizzo, but we got Bubba. Another Muppets from Space alumni. Look.
And they're like, wow, she's good.
Yeah.
Hips are encouraged.
Don't take cheese from strangers.
Which is a good tip.
And advice he does not heed with grapes later on.
Well,
okay.
Well, at that point she wasn't a stranger. I mean, she was about to get married to him. So
that is true. Okay, so Tiki, one of everyone's favorites, Sweetums. He's riding. He's like the food
randomly
cart.
Just like a train.
Yeah, he's like a train bolting down that hallway with the food cart so he can get to the big ballroom scene.
I was really hoping, based on the trailer, that at one point he'd be like, "Look at me, I'm a choo-choo train."
Well, you were close.
It's a little. Oh, hi, Wanda, just watering the rose bushes.
Oh God.
I'm so proud of that. Anyways,
it's a little moment, but I love how he's like, "You okay, fellas?" when he knocks him after the fall down. It was really nice. Like, oh, good old. No wonder he's called.
Actually, ZK, now that you mention it, it might be a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride homage. It might be, now that you mention it.
I mean, because they do reference Haunted Mansion a lot, obviously, but they do throw in some other Disney parks references.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah,
that is a solid pool, ZNK. All right. Of course, Gonzo. I knew there'd be rides. That's nice. Anyway, so we hit the ballrooms. The ballroom again. Now, I thought was one of the coolest things in the whole thing. Like, hey, we're taking the Muppet Show segment. At the dance, and they're all doing the ballroom dancing thing.
I mean, it's a very natural set piece to work in, but they did it really well. Yeah,
it's like this thing. Like for years, like we've probably been talking about. Like, hey, if they ever did like a Muppet, Muppet Haunted Mansion thing, wouldn't it be great if they did like the Muppet ballroom dancing sketch? in that for that segment.
Totally,
Makes
totally.
sense. And we have like I was just blown away. Oh my God, Wayne and Wanda, they came back. We haven't seen them since 2011. Oh
if
my
they
God.
didn't use Wayne and Wanda in the ballroom, then I would have just thrown out this whole special.
Like the whole gag, the most unpopular, unimpressive Muppets. They're only known for basically screwing up or being in the ballroom. We gotta put them there. So let's see. We have we have the great joke with Howard, Howard and Beverly Plume.
Yeah.
What are your plans for Thanksgiving? Oh, my friends are taking me, inviting me to dinner or something like that, or having me for dinner.
I wouldn't go to that.
Let's see. Okay, we have our dueling ghosts. So we have Sam Eagle and
all right,
and Pops, and they're drawing and draw. They're doing a little sketch, little Toy Story homage, if you will. It's cute. Anyway, so our guys crash down into the ballroom, and I really wonder how they shoot this thing. How solid is the floor on this ballroom anyway? Because I know when they shoot stuff in the Haunted Mansion, sometimes they have to be careful when they walk around on the attraction.
The Leota Room is the worst. Like that is literally like a multi-story drop between the Doom buggies and the table. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So is it just Leota really has that drop, or is it?
I think Garrett would know about this more than I would, but I'm pretty sure that it's mostly the Leota Room. Probably the attic is hazardous. I think anything where the Doom buggies directly travel through it is dangerous. And by that logic, the ballroom could be not bad because the Doom buggies don't travel directly through it. They travel.
I'm assuming I might be making a critical mistake. Do you think they're actually shooting in the Haunted Mansion for this?
No. Oh God, no. Definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, forget what I said. There's no concern thing.
I don't think they'd close down one of the most popular attractions to even shoot the Muppets.
Well, they can do it after hours. But...
That's what I'm saying. They could. It's not like they couldn't do it. They could, but there'd be a lot of work.
I'm pretty sure the stretching room is just a really good recreation, and that's probably the most accurate thing in the whole.
Because the interiors do seem rather flawless.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. And we have Joe the Legal Weasel. All right, so then we have the Mansion Show hosted by Kermit the Frog with a mustache.
This is where I'm sorry to keep beating a dead horse here, but I really think
it would be very apparent.
Gag.
It's going to be very apparent because this is everyone and their mother knows how the Muppet Show goes with Kermit the Frog. So if this doesn't sound like that frog, something's off.
Exactly.
So we have Ghazi, the Hatbox Bear. Now, Fozzie looks amazing in this, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
The biolumin, the whole black light look. It looks great on him.
I thought I'd be the one.
I wish the Hatbox Ghost had a bigger presence in this, just because he's such a big character, in the lore of the Haunted Mansion. But okay, I got to turn. Jesus Christ, my friend group randomly got into conversation. I need to turn off my Facebook notifications. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on.
We gave Fozzie a really good joke though. Not the one he bombs on stage with. Later on, we give him a really good joke.
I do love that. I do like this. I thought I'd be the one dying up here, but it looks like you beat me to it. Don't you have anything better to here to boo me?
Booing comes with the territory, and then we see Statler and Walter from the Doom buggy for the first time. And I just love the idea he's a comedian with a shtick, where if he's bombing, he goes to his big joke, which is I've lost my head sort of humor, where then it pops up in the little hat box, shaka waka. All right.
What happens if you don't pay your exorcism bill?
You get repossessed. Which is actually pretty clever, kind of like a okay, so bad it's good kind of
solid dad joke. It's a solid dad joke.
Yeah.
All right, it's definitely not Fozzie's worst joke.
Oh, yeah, this is funny. Kermit, you mean that wasn't Rosenthal? It's a great Muppet Caper reference.
What reference? What was it?
We're in Great Muppet Caper. Kermit the Frog pretends to be Piggy's lawyer with the fake mustache, and his name is I love you, Rosenthal. When Piggy kisses
I didn't even catch that.
Wire mesh, so that's it. C&K channel. I'm very impressed with your Muppetology, my friend. Okay. So, we have the Life Hereafter musical number, which I think is the best musical number of the piece, quite possibly.
I agree.
I really liked it. It was a jaunty tune.
It's
I mean,
very
really?
jaunty. I honestly
Cool.
think Vogel's singing voice is better than his speaking voice as far as
Yeah.
Kermit goes.
There you go. There's a silver lining. Yeah.
I mean, that's one reason why I don't have an issue with him being Kermit.
Sure.
Fair enough.
All right. So also, it felt kind of Be Our Guest-esque, and I don't know why I like this. Like Be Our Guest is a funeral.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much like it's pretty similar in terms of context. It's like, hey, welcome to this place. We're gonna sing a little song for you because you're our guest.
This place is to die for.
I mean, two fun facts, they actually reference "Be Our Guest" in this in a roundabout way, and
Yeah.
apparently in the original, one of the original versions they wrote was actually titled "Be Our Ghost,"
Ooh.
but they decided to go with this song instead.
So Rizzo does have a line in the song.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a really undiscernible line, though.
I wonder who did him.
Well, he's probably Vogel.
Who knows?
I guess. I mean, if we're getting like the guy who's taking over this Whitmire roles, it would probably be Vogel. It's a guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not a certainty though. All right. Zinke Champ points at Statler and Waldorf's vacation outfits. Yeah, they literally are like tourists, like riders, like in the ride. And of course, what cracks me up to know, and one of the great jokes in this too, is like the ride breaks down the middle of the song.
That took me by surprise. That was like anyone who has been on the Haunted Mansion knows, like, your tour has been interrupted by weary spirits or whatever the line is, and that was great. The fact that they actually incorporate a breakdown.
I listened to the soundtrack version. It's in that too.
Nice.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. I love. There was a scary image in this too. Outside putting our guys in coffins and everything, we had this really scary bit where we basically spliced together Harry, Fozzie, and Bobo the bear when their heads are on different parts of the Hatbox Ghost, just sick and wrong.
Oh,
you know?
They do show some legitimately creepy imagery in this special.
That's what I'm saying. They're hitting the marks just right.
I mean, it's not something like too terribly scary where kids wouldn't be able to watch it, but it's just the right amount of creepy.
It's not like an unholy splicing like visiting cousin Arnie. It's not that unholy.
Oh god.
Yeah, that face swap that's not right. This is just like, okay, well, this is supposed to be scary. That was not supposed to be scary. At least not supposed to be that scary. Anyway.
I also love the call out to Memento Mori, which is the gift shop in Florida.
Yep. Really? That's what they call it there too?
That's what they call the gift shop, yeah.
Oh, that's really nice, yeah.
The fun fact is that Memento Mori literally means remember you will die.
Yep. Little life story, Memento Mori. It's a good line.
By the way, I love Will Arnett in this, like interacting with the Muppets and stuff. I think this is his best song.
I agree. So, okay, here's what I think is one of the best gags with Fozzie's The Hatbox Ghost. Cracks me up. So, okay, so Gonzo's asking, hey, Kermit, hey, how did you die? He says, I croaked. And then Fozzie, good one. And basically, we point out to him, wait, I'm dead?
I'm dead?
That to me is like one of the most Muppet jokes ever. And just had this bit where you have this Kermit's like, oh, dear. It's like he's going to have to explain it to him. It's like just... It's like,
honestly, the croak line is something Fozzie would say. But,
yep.
But also, I'm dead. That's also something he would be slow on the uptakes. Like, wait, I'm dead.
It's a wonderfully dark joke. I just love it. Okay, so just to round about our two storylines here. So overall, let's start with the Pepe stuff, then we'll talk about the Gonzo Hep. Then
sounds good.
Okay, so we split our guys off here. Pepe meets Constance Hatchaway, played by the
now, like I said, I think it could have been a little bit better foreshadowed, but generally speaking, I really do like what they did with it.
I mean, the most foreshadow we get that I think maybe fits the bare minimum is, hey, Pepe's looking for a date.
I
mean, we kind of set it up in that regard. So, I mean, that's as much as we get there. But, I mean, can you remember in the actual ride, like, how much did we set up the bride in Haunted Mansion? Like, do we?
Not much, but I mean...
Well, there you go.
But I mean, like, she is the main antagonist, and, like, storytelling in a ride is different than storytelling in a movie, so...
Well, not a movie, though. Special.
And to be fair, she is, like, the main character in Phantom Manor.
All right, good point. Right, so Taraji P Henson, I think she was really well cast. Great actress, and I thought she was, she was a fun Constance.
I mean, I really liked her. I do think it's like I don't know. Again with the casting, I do think it's a little bit of a missed opportunity that Constance wasn't Piggy, just because I just think they could have gotten a lot of mileage out of that.
But I mean, it was. I thought it was. If you're gonna get I thought the idea of getting a celebrity to play Constance Hatchaway is like, yeah, if you get the right celebrity, that could really work. Though, when you get to put Piggy as the iconic fixture of the Haunted Mansion, there you go. You know, it's like, maybe a better usage of the two. I don't know, because Piggy would have been like, if they got Piggy to play Constance Hatchaway, they might have fell into the Wizard of Oz trap. Okay, we're putting Piggy as the Witch of the West. You know, which maybe was like, maybe that. Whether or not that worked out in Wizard of Oz might be. We don't want to tread too much of the similar territory. Hey, the Muppets are adapting like an age-old iconic property. We just want to hit the same things over and over again. I don't know. All right, of course, but for me, the reason I love it additionally is I think Muppet-human relationships are inherently funny. They've always have been so far. I mean, it's like we rarely has there ever been a miss with that. It's something
of course, being the classic example.
Yes, Groban being the MVP, and also Tina Fey and Kermit the Frog. There are MVPs. There are good tiers of that. And I also thought Pepe had good chemistry with her. I think it became a little one note as we kept rehashing the whole King Prawn.
Yeah,
which is good. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind. Like in this first scene when they meet each other, she keeps saying King Prawn and keeps getting all faint. But literally, that's all she's gonna do. It's a bit much. It's a little repetitive. All right, let's see. So anyway, they're she's wooing him, she's feeding them. Essentially, I think that we did the PG version of her drugging him. It seems like she's giving him these spidery grapes, like these tainted grapes, and he's getting all woozy.
That is nasty.
Which I don't know. That has to, because it's doing a number on him. He's really out of it at the end. I think it's like a coded version. Yeah, we're drugging Pepe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting.
Yeah,
the spiders. You can actually see them crawling around on the grapes. It's like, oh,
it's spiders. So as this is happening, the X's or axes, depending on who you ask, they're all gossiping about.
I really think all of these guys were perfectly cast.
And what about heck, Peter was there too. Walter.
Yeah, Walter. Yeah.
I was thinking of the person who played him, Peter Linz.
That makes sense.
I was thinking he had Spider-Man on the brain, but that makes more sense. Because of all the spiders.
Like, this is actually like the first time that Walter's played someone other than himself.
That is true. Oh, it's like Muppets' first parody role, or Muppets' first adaptation role.
Salmonella, Johnny.
So remember, guys, Salmonella is Brian Henson. Yeah, these guys were a package deal back in the Muppets Tonight days. Johnny.
Yeah, they were great. They were definitely a standout in this sequence.
Of course, New Zealand. I love New Zealand, and Tommy pops up.
And Uncle Deadly was the priest.
Yes, that was genius. I mean,
now Uncle Deadly, I was critical. Like, how could you not have Deadly as the ghost host? But he was perfect as the priest. Like, perfect role for him, absolutely perfect. And Will Arnett killed it as the ghost host, so all was right in the world. I shouldn't doubt Disney.
It would have been the biggest crime ever if Uncle Deadly didn't appear in this at all, right?
Oh my God. Yeah, but they saved him for a good role.
They did. And of course, it's just this hilarious idea, too, of Constance Hatchaway, she's been married a bunch of times, and someone has to officiate that thing.
He's like, he's like, here we go again.
Just the fact, 6 times the charm.
6 times the charm.
It's not all wakes and weddings, dear boy. Honestly, Matt Vogel's best role is Uncle Deadly, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, totally.
Easily. I mean, he was the MVP of the Muppets in 2015 as Uncle Deadly. That was his best anyway.
Was that where he originated, or was? Well,
no, he was around all the way back to the Vincent Price
for a long time.
I want to say he was introduced in the Vincent Price episode. I think.
I think you're right. Yeah.
No, that makes sense then. I mean, I don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of all the Muppets.
I don't really think they. I think Muppets 2011 was the first time he got a major role in anything.
Yes, that's right. Yes, like the first time I want to say we named him in that. Like, we finally gave that character an announced name.
It could be. Yeah.
Anyway, so anytime he showed up, it would have been just kind of in a group shot of monsters. And
he was just kind of like a creative monster design. Yeah.
I love how he's become more of a fleshed out character in recent years.
Oh yeah,
very much. I think he's probably He's probably like for the 2010s what Rizzo was for the 90s.
As far as I'm concerned, Deadly is, and we should do commercials of this. Like he's the most interesting Muppet. You know, like the most interesting man ads. We should do that with Deadly. Like sipping a martini as he's wont to do. Like that's Deadly there for you. He's the most interesting Muppet.
And similar to about Muppets, now I loved his interactions with Piggy.
Of course, which again, 2015 gives us this. Yeah. And also, the red eye effect on Constance. What did you think of that? Like, you know, the whole like the glowing heart and the red eyes, and you know, it's like pretty well represented.
It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the other side of our story here. I feel the heart of the best part of the whole special, the Gonzo payoff here. So
absolutely, the best part of the whole special for sure, no question about it. It was wonderful.
So the ghost host addressed Gonzo's lack of fear. He's a daredevil after all, not a lot to fear, and he sends him to the big challenge, which is room 999, which, of course, room for one more, and 666, flipped upside down.
Jacob, I don't suppose you've watched Haunting of Hill House, have you?
Not yet.
I didn't think so. This whole sequence very much has a Haunting of Hill House vibe for me.
I've been wanting to watch it for years, though.
Oh, I just got around to it during my trip. It's what I watched on the plane, and I would highly recommend it.
So,
anyways, the only reason I mentioned Haunting of Hill House is because there's like a specific room, and the specific room brings out people's biggest fears and traumas. So yeah, it very much was kind of like in the Haunting of Hill House vein. Anyways,
it just made so much sense for Gonzo to confront, you know, the fear of self-reflection, which just it felt on brand for that character, and I love like kind of the mirror theme with like how we visualized everything. And also, of course, big centerpiece of the Haunted Mansion. You look in that mirror, and the trick mirror, and you have like the ghost behind you. So the mirrors hit perfectly on so many fronts. And you know, we had the creepy, ghosty version of Gonzo. Dave Goelz is amazing in this scene in so many ways.
Oh, Dave, this is like a top tier Dave Goelz Gonzo performance.
And we haven't seen Goelz given this much with Gonzo since Muppets, since Muppets from Space, honestly.
Oh, totally.
Head, you know, it's like
this is like a much better executed follow up to the Muppets from Space themes.
Sure, I mean, nothing against Goelz's performance in Muppets from Space, but it was you had to wait through a lot to get to those Gonzo scenes. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
and old Gonzo though was actually pretty creepy looking.
I know, that's the thing. That was the creepiest thing of the whole special.
Old Gonzo is absolutely the creepiest thing of the whole special by a country mile.
Old man Gonzo, I love the fact that we gave him like the beard and then the hair like as like kind of the
the wrinkled nose that looks like it's about to fall.
The shriveled up nose and the skeleton hands creep me out so much with the old man Gonzo.
So that's what whatevers look like when they age.
Yeah, but here's my favorite detail with the construction is like we use that kind of that fishing lure kind of hair that Gonzo has. We gave it to him. That's like what all the white beard hair is made out of. You know, that's just great. Again, I think the reason it's truly scary is that we all love Gonzo. There's a likable quality to him, as weird as he is, and the fact that seeing him in such a vulnerable. We've never seen Gonzo in a truly vulnerable state like that. Because again, he's a daredevil. Always puts himself in danger. But to see him in kind of mortal jeopardy like this, and like emotional jeopardy, it's like it's so bone chilling. And then it's like his hands are skeletons and everything. Oh God, like there's no comedy here. Gonzo's in misery, and you're feeling it.
I mean, it's a classic trope, sure, like of the character who says, "Oh, he's not afraid of anything, but not afraid of anything physical, but more afraid of something emotional," which
is great. And again, takes us back fundamentally. His fear is what we saw at the top of Muppets from Space, where he's. It's the Noah the Ark story. He doesn't want to be alone. That's fundamentally Gonzo's fear, and we brought it back. So again, I love the dichotomies in the plotting here, where Gonzo and Pepe's stories are diametrically opposite. Where Gonzo's fear is separation. His story is like being separated, and Pepe's story is being eternally bonded with somebody. All right, so again, Gonzo rapidly ages. It's very shiningly terrifying, and then Kermit. And this is the heartbreaking part. Kermit, he sees through the other side of the mirror, but no one can hear him. It's like, Kermit, guys, hey! And no one's hearing him.
Again, not to be repetitive, but very Haunting of Hill House.
Sure. Kermit's remarking to Scooter after we have the tomato joke about bobbing for tomatoes last year. That, he misses Gonzo, and he wished Gonzo would see, being himself is good enough. He doesn't need to be the great Gonzo again. Basically, hitting our moral flawlessly. Just again speaking to that lovely friendship of Kermit and Gonzo, and like toasting the Gonzo's honor. It's like, hey, to the great Gonzo, everybody, good to be here. It's like, oh, it's so nice, and just seeing poor Gonzo, Dave Gold's just nailing it here. Like, my fear is no one cares about me if I don't continue to do dangerous stunts.
Yeah.
And being alone and not seeing my friends again. And
basically it's just the locks, and the way the locks unlock when they basically his three biggest fears.
Yeah. But here's the thing though, it's a fear that is then being like peeled away to like what is the root of that fear? Like peeling it away to like the deeper roots and the kind of almost like an inception logic, if you will. It's at the root of the idea. It's at the center. It's the pinwheel. So all right. So the skull's unlocked. We have a great... the skull locks are really cool, by the little smoke coming out of it and everything. All right. So Gonzo, he's defeated his fear. It's close to sunrise. He's won. He's won the challenge.
I love that it's like he doesn't like exactly cope with his fear, but he more like acknowledges it. That's the beauty of it. He's still afraid of being alone, but he at least is aware of it and acknowledges it as being important.
Yeah, you got to it's exposure. You got to embrace the fear. You got to face it. Which he did.
Step one is acceptance.
Yes. So he accepted the fear. He's made it to the end of the mansion. Essentially, he's allowed to leave. Says the ghost host. Unfortunately, Pepe, not so lucky, and it's close to sunrise. Ergo, the risk of like, oh no.
This was a really, really well executed finale. I thought.
Yes.
I really thought it was a great ticking clock.
It's a graduate finale.
Pepe's on his way to becoming ghost number 1000.
Well, Dragon, if it was a graduate finale, then Gonzo and Pepe would have like a worried look on their face right before the credits roll.
Well, okay, fair enough. All right, it's a graduate climax.
Yeah. I'm just joking around.
I know. All right, but seriously, this is a really nice moment that hits upon Gonzo's recently faced fear of like, Gonzo doesn't want to leave Pepe to be alone without him. Like he can't leave his friend behind because that's the position he was just in. So he takes the risk. He's going back, and we do basically kind of a recap of all the Haunted Mansion stuff as he races to the attic. They're like flying past him.
And even there's this weird staircase monster too.
Yeah. How do we feel about the staircase monster and like the infinite darkness?
Speaking, again, I like the fact that there's so many like original puppets here. That it's not just regurgitated characters. I like the fact that they actually, design a lot of these characters. Yeah.
We might have some comments.
Yeah, we do. Just don't. Got a lot. Anyone you want to highlight in particular?
Just try the last two. Just try the last two.
What?
Last two, the bottom two.
The
Inception hallway. All
right.
That one.
Was a fan of Pepe essentially hijacking the story. I mean, I don't think he hijacks the story just because I think the stakes are still on Gonzo, trying to save his friend,
Yeah, and again, it connects to Gonzo, like, kind of not letting his friend face his fate that he was afraid of.
And Pepe's scenes, like, kind of offer some levity between Gonzo's facing his fear kind of thing.
Yeah, and it also adds stakes, too, like Gonzo being really heroic here, kind of a stunt to save somebody.
Yeah. Plus the endless hallway effect was indeed really cool, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we're heading up the stairs. We're intercutting between the wedding that's going on. Essentially, Gonzo pulls a Pinocchio, where he's grabbing the candelabra, and it kind of floats down. It burns the monster, and basically gets spit up into the attic.
There's a creative use of the floating candelabra that they've been featuring throughout the episode.
Yeah, I like that the candelabra is kind of like almost a character in its own right.
Yeah, ghosted Gonzo earlier. Ghosted. Oh, I get it.
It's more like, I thought it was more like a Chekhov's gun kind of thing.
Something we should have mentioned way earlier. I love we had that ghost explaining. The whole explain the Haunted Mansion jokes thing of like, don't worry, folks. It won't be like that all the time.
Right.
And those sheet ghosts were awesome. All right, so Gonzo saves Pepe. Gonzo Hatchaway gets a little axe happy as she is wont to do. We're avoiding that, and then I love this. We jump from we jump from the ad window, much like we do in the ride. We crash on down.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Dragon. Because
right?
I feel like I feel like nobody even pays attention to the fact that in the ride you're literally jumping out of the window in the context of the story. Yeah,
and I just think I hope they back during the speculation to this place. I hope they were going to do something like that, but I completely forgot about it in the moment. Like, oh my god, they did the thing! It's awesome. I had no idea I was waiting for it.
Right.
All right, so then we kind of check in with the caretaker for a bit. He's been carving the tombstones this whole time. Really sweet. This man has excellent craftsmanship. This caretaker. Look at those tombstones. They're really sweet looking.
And he spelled Gonzo's name right, but he misspelled Pepe as like Pepper the Shrimp or something like that.
Yeah. And but however, prawn but not forgotten is genius.
I'm not a I think the one funny use of the whole "I'm not a shrimp, I'm a prawn" comes at the very end. Like, no, we don't have time.
Okay, so then we have a really sweet. This is a classy ending with the ghost host, man. I really love this what we did with the ghost host here. So we meet him at the ghost host meets him at the gate as they're about to leave, they're now in the safety zone because now they both meet got out of there at the last second. He praises Gonzo. He praises Gonzo on the greatest act like a soul could ever achieve, facing their fear. Something that he could never do. We make our big reveal. The ghost host is the Great Macguffin. How apropos given the name.
I mean, like, I think the reason I called this is just because on the poster his face is kind of obscured, so I kind of
if you really look at that poster, you can put it together. Yeah.
I
mean, if you watch, you can tell.
I mean, I didn't even look at the poster. I was like, wait, he's gonna be the ghost host, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't ruin it anything, and I think a lot of people watching will probably suspect it because we're not in universe and don't suspect those kind of things.
Right. Honestly, guys, the biggest laugh for me in this whole thing was just Pepe acknowledging how weird that fish was.
Yep. Pee-wee.
Okay, that is the freakiest thing I've seen all night.
The creepiest thing I've seen all night. Let's go, okay?
I cracked up so hard at that line.
But I gotta tell you, man, this is where the specials really grabbed me in all these moments. Honestly, even before this point, the ghost was having that little walk and talk with Gonzo. I really liked it earlier, saying like, "Hey, Gonzo, you haven't been really afraid of anything all this night." I just love Will Arnett's chemistry with Gonzo, and then bringing it back here, this sweet goodbye. Like, hey,
I just love it. That's how he's like not actually trying to like physically scare Gonzo, but like get him to face his fears.
Yeah, he's been helping him, and he's kind of pulling for him the whole special, and we know why, because he's the magician that Gonzo idolized. The whole reason he's there, another a kind of a master of his artistry craft.
There's I really appreciate the fact that it's a magician, just because this is
the
kind
escape
of
artist.
Well, escape artist, yes, but Claude Coates and Rolly Crump when they were coming up with the designs. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting the. It was Yale Gracie and Claude Coates.
Yeah, that's why it's called Gracie Mansion, isn't it?
Yeah. When they were coming up with the special effects, they really went back to the classic magician's parlor tricks.
Yeah, and I meant
and the Pepper's Ghost is a magician's parlor trick.
I gotta be honest. When you guys pointed out that tombstone earlier, I thought Pepper was there because of the Pepper's Ghost thing. I did not think about Pepper is just Pepe misspelled.
I mean, if it is a Pepper's Ghost reference as well, that would be cool.
I mean, it could be a double entendre.
Yeah, well, I think yours is like the correct thing. It's just like I don't know. Regardless, but yeah, so the escape artist thing I meant in terms of like, hey, they
Z and K, it could very much be an Arrested Development joke. I do think it's funny that Will Arnett, like you said, is kind of like, he is kind of weirdly typecast into magician roles a lot of the time.
Which is also cute. I wonder if that would be great if that was intentional. But yeah, the whole the fact that Gonzo escapes death and magicians can also be escape artists. There go, that's kind of a bond there as well. But just the fact that there's this wonderfully kind of bittersweet thing with the magician of I've made peace. Can you come with us? This is I've made peace with my fate. This is my
Hill House.
All right.
Just saying.
This is my home, and these are my friends' nest. The fact that he's accepted his fate, and then he does a magician doing a card trick, which is bravo, Gonzo, to you are the greatest from MacGuffin and Pee-wee. It was the tip of a hat from one artist to another. This is beautiful. Then disappears during daybreak.
A thumbs up from Pop.
Yes. I mean, real, that guy's that give you the warm and fuzzies at all. Isn't that nice?
I liked it.
All right.
And
okay,
we haven't talked about
Actually,
like
I
the
do admit, looking at the mansion exterior in the daytime, it does very much have a Phantom Manor vibe to it.
Well, I mean, they did.
I think if it's trying to go for any mansion design, it's that.
I think they did say it's trying to throw in some Phantom Manor into this as well.
All right. So the limo driver arrives, very surprised. Like, oh my god, this is the first time this has ever happened.
I love the gag license plates on the limo. It's like one of the front is like to die for, and what is the other one?
D end, as in dead end. Actually, no, just D end, as in we're at the end.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny. That's like a random small gag I kind of
like.
Oh
yeah, no, you're right. That was great.
I like those kind of like visual sight gags and this kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, we have like...
I was going to say, I literally... Okay, this is stupid of me. I was literally going to make a comment like, oh, they should have had Miss Piggy go like, hurry back! But no, Constance says hurry back, so we got the hurry back in there. It's all good.
Yeah. So,
but I don't think Pepe is going to hurry back to that.
It's spiders. How do you guys have a good time? It was terrifying. I loved it.
I do wish they would have done more with a beating heart.
I mean, it was there all the time. Like, it kept beating throughout the whole
I know, but it could have been more of a plot point.
I mean, maybe, but again, there's only so much plot they can fit in 46 minutes, dude.
I guess, yeah.
It's like I feel the spiders crawling in my stomach.
But I think it wonderfully kind of sums it up with Gonzo. It's like, it was terrifying. I loved it. Where that's what the Haunted Mansion experience is. You want the writers to feel that way. It was terrifying, and I loved it. So again, Constance going hurry back. Kermit calls them in their car during the Halloween breakfast. Like, hey guys, how'd it go? I almost got married. Oh, I've been there. Kermit's peace. Good joke. Again, the writing was on point for Kermit.
I love the fact that they actually designed puppets for the hitchhiking ghosts, and they could have very easily done cast like obscure Muppets as those characters, but I like the fact that it's the actual designs from the ride.
Yeah, also we get him in there because we kind of glazed over this. Big Mean Carl was in there as a trick or treater earlier.
Yeah, I don't want to glaze over Big Mean Carl.
Yeah, I just want to shout out, hey, Big Mean Carl, hey, and Yolanda. Okay, so they're gonna head over for breakfast. You're gonna bring your friends, which of course, hitchhiking ghost. How else could you end this? You gotta end with the hitchhiking ghost.
Of course.
And back to Dancing in the Moonlight. We have some credit silliness with our cameos, which is more than what they got in the movie, honestly. But hey, it's getting more time with the Muppets.
And it's like something that they also did in the 2011 movie as well.
That is true.
I don't know if they did that in. I don't think they did that in Most Wanted, because they just did the fireworks thing.
Z&K says, don't glaze over Big Mean Carl or he'll glaze you.
Like a donut.
Yeah. Trick or treat!
Oh, God. All right. So, final thoughts, or do we just roll right into the outro?
I think we just thank the folks, and then we just kind of wrap it up.
Okay, yeah. So, big thanks to Z&K, man. You have been on point and on fire with this discussion, man. I'm sorry we didn't have time to point out more of your comments, because man, you're really you really know your stuff. And then of course Theme Park Priest and that guy, always a pleasure. And I think that'll do it. All right, folks. Well, that'll do it for us tonight. And our spirits grow weary. But don't worry, they'll be stronger than ever next time as we engage in even more haunted holiday hijinks.
Maniacal laugh. Maniacal laugh.
This is the biggest thing I've seen on night, okay?